Cancer. Hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-June 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancer Collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Cancerians in mid-June 2026? We're getting very close to Cancer season, my good friends. Hope you're planning those birthday parties. But what energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer in mid-June. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick for you, my good friends. I'm going to have some fun today, hopefully. There we go. I'll take it. Cool. So I like the forward push that this energy seems to have. It always reminds me of the Chariot, which is one of your power cards. You see this strong lady right here, and she's like, yep, no, I'm going this way. I'm going in this direction, which seems pretty cool. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the June subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, beautiful imagery here. We have this strong divine feminine figure with like the reds and yellows and pinks in the background. It does have a fiery quality to it. And for some reason, it just has that same Chariot type of vibe, that forward push, that forward momentum. When I see her, I think of someone who knows where they're going or knows a direction. There could be something about direction. I'm not sure what that could possibly be. But this is eyes to the horizon, which I think is a really nice place to be. It's very determined. There's a lot of gusto. There's a lot of fiery energy contained within this. So that tells me that for a lot of you, if you've been feeling a little down or energy levels have been low, this could be an increase, which I think is great. This could be great for motivation and getting things done. Now, the inverse, the downside to an energy like this, sometimes it can be a little too aggressive, right? Sometimes it could be a little too pushy. So in this time, watch the temper, watch for forcing things or trying to push things too hard, because this energy could definitely do that from time to time. But I love the strength and I love the forward momentum. And if that carries over into the main part of the reading, then that's a really good thing. But we're going to let her chill right there. We're not going to get in her way. She could keep going that way. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Cancer. What we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up, I'm ready to go. Let's talk about last week's reading. So I did see some good energy coming in. The reading was titled The Massive Win. Now, I always say wins, victories, they come in all different shapes and sizes. Sometimes you might just have a couple of really good days. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's work, sometimes it's health, sometimes it's partnerships. So I hope you did collect one, but even if you haven't, just know that that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. And yeah, it felt really good last week. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for my beautiful Cancer friends. What do we have? There we go. Very first shuffle, this card pops out. Okay. 2 of Swords. It's different than this very first card. Not a bad thing, but this card does have a lot of questions that we are going to hopefully endeavor to answer within this reading. Let's get a couple more. Okay, cool. All right. The good energy is still in the mix, that's for sure. We got the 3 cups right here in the center. I've been seeing this card show up quite a bit, so I do like it. Let's get one more here. Let's see what we got for our Cancer friends. What do we got? Okay. Cool. Okay, so you do have a bonus here. We got the double 3s, which is really nice. We got the 3 of Wands, really good stuff. So I'm feeling neutral to positive about the stuff we're seeing so far, especially with on the back end. Got the beautiful Empress chilling right there. So the energy could be a little cloudy in the front, but there's other people's energy showing up here as well that we want to look at. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know, I always love to look at the elements. Those tell a story in and of themselves, and they paint the picture and tell us how the energy could flow. And it's like a nice sequential order, right? And a good mixture. We got air, water, and fire. This one's Venus energy, so we're going to leave her to the side for now. Now, yeah, these could be different areas of life, but when it comes to the air, that's very logical, pragmatic, and thought based. It deals a lot with strategy, the thought process, how you view things, giving or receiving information. It's a very studious type of element, and it deals with communication. The only downside to the swords is sometimes they could be a little too logical, a little too cold, a little too clinical, very cut and dry, no room for nuance. So it's something we want to look into further. And of course, it could be overthinking. Moving to the middle, we have your comfort zone, your power element. We have water, pardon me, matters of the heart. My voice just went there for a second. So it's like we have the heart and mind starting right here in the front. All internal energy on the front. Now, water is the realm of emotion, the internal world, matters of the heart, things, people, situations that we're emotionally invested in, our emotional well being. It could deal with creativity and emotional expressiveness or any sort of artistic expressiveness as well. So I love water. It does deal heavily with partnerships, but the only downside to water is that just like the tides, they ebb and flow, right? It's like in and then out. Such is life, though, right? Life has a tendency to do that, but it can be overwhelming. On the back end here, we have fire, the realm of action. So whether it's the actions you take, the actions other people take, I think of high level energy, right? Like fire is always buzzing, it's always intense. It could deal with health, physical vitality, and wellness. Fire, the only downside is that it could be very explosive and very random. There's a volatility there. But the one thing I find intriguing, and I will say this, the Venus on the back end, Venus is more so enjoyment, pleasurable type of energy, rewards, and stuff like that. But there's a whole chain of events. Thoughts become feelings, become actions, which is usually how things tend to take place, right? It starts with a thought, becomes a feeling, those feelings dictate actions. So it's like we have this whole sequence beginning to happen. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the Two of Swords. Now we see this lady here. She's on the beach, little blindfold on. She's hoodwinked. It's nighttime. There's a moon. So this card does imply the unknown, right? This is one of my bigger mystery cards. Now, in the classical sense, all twos represent decisions, crossroads, being at a make or break point. So when I see the Two of Swords, it could represent confusion, indecisiveness, the unknown. So we could strip all the confusion away and just say this is a mystery of some kind, the unexpected, the surprising, and we're going to look into it deeper. The real downside to this card is that sometimes it can feel like someone that's treading water, where it's like I'm running in place, right? That's a big thing with the Two of Swords. But the positive aspect of it is that, you know what, not all surprises are bad surprises. So we'll keep an eye on this for sure. And this is just where we're starting. She could also be a little on edge. Now, moving to the middle, we have a very, very different energy showing up here, real nice and strong. We have the Three of Cups, and we see those people. They're celebrating, they're happy. Now, of course, when it comes to all threes in tarot, they can represent group things, group dynamics. So we got the double threes here. So there are other people's energies showing up. For those of you that are extra energy sensitive, just know you could be feeling a lot of the energies of others in this time. But the Three of Cups, to me, isn't just sloppy third party stuff. To me, it represents celebration. It's joyousness, it's merriment, it's people having a good time. They're raising a toast, they're celebrating for a reason. So I always see this as a win initially, unless something tells me different. That's really good. Now, what's the downside to the Three of Cups having such a good time, having such a blast, and celebrating? Sometimes it could represent excess. Sometimes it can represent overindulgence. So again, there's no judgment here whatsoever. But if there are certain things, certain behaviors that you've been trying to refrain from, the Three of Cups could be very tempting to indulge in those things again. Moving to the back end, we have the Three of Wands. So again, yet again, another three. We'll see if any more show up within the reading itself. And we see this person kind of on the seashore, right? Watching those boats come in. This is a huge card of manifestation where it's like, I'm bringing something to me. There's a certain anticipation that comes with this card where it's like, I'm waiting on this thing to arrive. Oh, that ship, it's coming in. That ship is close, which I think can be good because sometimes this card does mean that. It's like, oh no, something's on its way, which I think is really good. But the downside to the Three of Wands is sometimes it's waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and it doesn't take action. So we want to see what's up with this because the Three of Wands could sometimes feel stuck. And obviously, you throw in the fact that there's double threes here. Watch for number signs, synchronicities. We'll see if any omens show up. And here on the back end, we have the beautiful Empress. Love her. Goddess energy. And like I mentioned, it's Venus. It's enjoyable. It's pleasurable. She represents blessings and abundance. She ties in very closely to nature. So for some cancers, maybe you need a little time out in nature to refresh those energies, right? Uh, she could represent motherhood and mother figures as well. That's always worth noting here. But I love the Empress. The only downside to her is that she could feel a little stuck, similar to the Three of Wands. It's an energy that could sometimes be like a wet blanket. So I'm not saying that's the case. There is a lot of real positive stuff here. But I want to dive deeper on all the Cancer. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for our Cancer friends? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Two of Swords. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that Two of Swords here? Why is it here? Thank you. Cool. Yeah, this is something that I'm extremely curious about, and I want to see if it unfolds further. So we have the High Priestess in reverse. Now, classically, this is a card that represents Pisces. I link it to all the water signs, but she is also another mysterious. Oh, the deck just jumped out of my hands. She is another mysterious type of card. Um, yeah, all the cards are like in my lap. Maybe that's a sign, right? But what the High Priestess, aside from the zodiac indicators, she's very hush hush, right? And again, yeah, she can represent balance, she can represent spirituality. She is the matron of psychics, intuitives, tarot readers, instinct, psychic gifts, all that stuff. But her in reverse, underneath the Two of Swords, it's like, but I don't understand this. So whether it's a situation where something just isn't computing in your mind, like I don't know how I got from here to there, I don't know how this happened. There could be a lot of surprising or unexpected situations popping up. Why is so and so acting this way? Why is this person saying this thing? Like there's certain things where it's like the vibe feels off. Now, is it going to stay that way? I'm not going to say that, right? But that's at least where we're starting here. So just watch out for surprising, unexpected situations popping up where things don't quite seem to add up or make sense. Or it's like I can't logically make sense of it for some reason. And something is pinging my intuition about it. So that's the main thing. I don't think we need to dig too much deeper. I think it's very simple, straightforward. We're going to keep moving. We are going to keep moving. Even though we had a little bit of a blooper there, we're just going to see what's up with the Three of Cups. We'll leave that blooper in, right? So why is the Three of Cups here for my Cancer friends? It could turn out good. I mean, yeah, let's see. Let's see what the Three of Cups has. Okay. Okay. But better? All right, this is something that takes a turn for the better, which I think is great. So we do have the Tower in reverse. So don't get nervous about it, right? Because usually the Tower in reverse represents a tower that's already occurred, at least how I read it. Now, the Tower is scorpionic. Yes, it represents change. Yes, it could be upheaval. The big thing with towers is they represent shock. But in reverse, underneath the Three of Cups, like there's only one dicey thing that I'm getting here. It's someone, I don't want to call it suppression, but there's like a numbing that could be happening here. So watch out for those types of behavior, like numbing behaviors, where it's like, nope, I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to deal with it. That could be a good thing, depending, right? Like, I am a big believer in the power of mindset and the power of perspective and how you frame things. So it's like, I'm not going to focus on this, but I'm going to focus on this. I'm not going to focus on the tough times and the difficulties. I'm going to stay positive and look at the silver lining. If that's a mode and mindset someone's in, then beautiful. But the initial thing I got here, aside from, obviously we already have the surprising, unexpected situations that could pop up, this to me feels like it takes a turn for the better. Where even if it was like, oh, I don't feel too good about this, oh, I'm feeling very unsure, the Tower in reverse under the Three of Cups is like a welcome surprise, or it's like a welcome upheaval, welcome shock. So this might be one of the rare, very good towers that we have here. But yeah, the only thing that gets me is like this energy here on the front, which we'll see if it still resolves. The only thing I'd watch out for here in the middle is numbing behaviors. But if this is all mindset, if this is all perspective in the center, where it's like, okay, that tower happened, nothing I can do about that tower. I'm going to focus on this now. This is what I'm focused on now. Let's keep moving. Let's see what's up with the Three of Wands. Then we'll do a quick recap. Right? And it doesn't mean to just ignore your problems, but there's something about reframing something. Let's see what's up with the three. Hopefully that is a change for the better. It's like drastic too. So why is that Three of Wands in the mix? Strength, cool. The energy does seem to calm down, which I really, really like. So strength, That's another internal energy, big Leo vibes, super angelic, right? We have the infinity symbol. There are karmic and spiritual cards all over the place here. And strength doesn't just represent restraint. Now, for some cancers, that could very much be on the table. If there are certain areas of life where you're trying to fix this, you're going to try to refrain from this, you're going to try to better this. That's a good thing. Because, like with the Three of Wands and strength, that reminds me of temperance a little bit, where it's like, okay, I'm going to work on this, this, and this. Nice, calm, even head, which is really good. But strength can, aside from representing restraint or refraining, it's chill, it's calm, it's protected, it's beautiful, right? So, again, we're not putting things under the rug, we're not ignoring things, we're staying positive. And with strength in the upright, it is angelic and spiritual assistance as well. So I actually think this is fantastic. To me, it feels like a spiritual embrace that I'm receiving here on the back end, which like gives me the warm and fuzzies on the inside. So it's like the vibe from here to here is like night and day. So we do have a really big, powerful shift of energy, especially right here in the center when we reframe something. Okay, strength in the upright under the Three of Wands is like I'm going to hold firm. I am okay. Because aside from restraint and refraining, strength to me represents who someone is at their core personality, who they are as a person, who they are on a soul level. And with that underneath the Three of Wands, it's like, I am at peace with something. I am at peace, which I think is great. Now, I think things change for the better. I really do. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. If you kindly look in the box, position number one, where we had our little deck flying out of my hands, we have the Two of Swords with the High Priestess in reverse underneath it. Yeah, sure. Could there be surprising, unexpected situations popping up? Absolutely. Could there be certain things that aren't computing or making sense to you? Like, why did this person do this? Why did this person act this way? Why did this happen? How did we get from there to here? That could all be in play, where there's like a little confusion about something, or your instinct or gut intuition trying to tell you that something feels a little off. Moving to the center, though, we have the Three of Cups with the Tower in reverse underneath it. Now, the first initial intuitive thing I got was a change for the better, or something working in your favor. So, whatever may seem difficult or confusing at first, in the end, could work in your favor when we look at it long term. But for another portion of you, the only thing I'd watch out for is like numbing behaviors. I think what we want to lean into is perspective shifts and looking at things in a different way through a different lens. That could be really helpful with whatever it is that's happening. Moving to the back end, we have the Three of Wands with strength. The energy settles down into a beautiful, protective, spiritual embrace, which I absolutely love. For some cancers, you might be trying to tighten up certain areas of your life where it's like, I'm going to do this and this, I'm going to slowly but surely improve. But aside from that, it's an energy that really changes, where like we start here from confusion, but we end up in a place of like peace, not acceptance, peace. That's beautiful. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yes, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out. Let's get it out. All right, cool. Three of Swords. So yeah, we have a third three when we look at the reading as a whole, right? Three, three, three. All right, Three of Swords. I always say this card is on a spectrum, right? It's the iconic image of the three swords cutting through the heart. And on the mild sense, it could just be a little gloomy. It could be an energy that feels like a little zapped or a little tired. It's a downtrodden type of energy. But on the big extreme, it could sometimes be brokenhearted, right? And it could even be somewhere in the middle where we're talking about like a little bit of on edge energy. So that would make sense, especially with what we have right here up in the front. But I think it's important to remember that these feelings, these emotions, these Three of Swords types of situations, they are part of the human experience, right? We do experience them. And with this being in the shadows, it could still be something that you're working through or carrying with you. And that's okay. There's no timetable to trying to like make this disappear or anything like that. But I would say with all the repeating threes and what we know about the numerology of threes, just watch out for other people complicating things more than they should be. Because like when I get these three numbers over and over and over, it tells me that like, hey, maybe you're in a decently solid place, but watch out for outside influences. That's the big warning I have with this in the shadows. So, Cancer, that's what I got for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the June subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My June calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the June subscriber surprise, doing another winner's choice, the winners, which will be three, will have a choice between either the Everyday Witches Tarot, which is a lovely tarot deck, one of my all-time favorites, or you can choose a custom pendant from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's two simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards in the deck, which one do you feel represents you and your energy best? You could even pick multiple if you'd like. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab /post tab. My friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.